Talk about something that comes up pretty much all the time, frankly. I mean, when I'm dealing with agency owners around the country and we're dealing with problems, there's always something where there is conflict, right? And I have this saying, and I say it a lot, especially when I'm working with my clients, is conflict delayed is conflict multiplied. And basically, what I mean by that is when you've got something you need to deal with, you need to deal with it now. You need to deal with it in the moment, as soon as it makes sense to deal with it, I guess I should say. Because the longer you let that go on, the bigger and bigger and bigger that problem gets. So, for years, when something happens here, and we're usually talking about something with staff. It could be something with a customer. It could be a lot of different things, but it seems like it comes up most often with staff. Is deal with it now. If it involves two different people, if it involves an action, if it involves something maybe you've taught or trained on and they're not doing it, there's some level of accountability that needs to be handled. Deal with it now. Don't let it go on. When you allow conflict to be delayed, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and all kinds of bad things happen. The person you should be dealing it with now still starts to feel like they're getting away with something. Could be that the rest of the team sees how you're dealing with it, and it's making you look like a poor leader because they know this is going on and nothing's being done about it. There's just so many problems with that. So I would encourage you, when something happens and you've got to deal with it, and in your gut, those times like, I need to deal with that. I need to talk to that person. I need to meet with them, whatever. I need to call them. Deal with it. Don't let it wait. The longer you let it wait, the bigger and bigger and bigger that problem gets. And I would also encourage you, do it at least at a minimum by phone if you can't do it in person. This idea of texting or chatting or emailing and dealing with something that's confrontational, to me, you're just asking for problems because people can't read your body language, they can't read your tone, context can be kind of out of whack. But when you talk with somebody, at least on the phone, when you guys can at least have a conversation, you don't have to worry about all those things. So I would highly recommend that you do it at least by phone if you can't do it in person. But the main thing is do it in the moment. The only thing that I would say about that is don't respond to somebody when you're angry. If you're mad, if you're upset, wait, calm down a little bit where you can get back to some normal sense and then deal with it. But that shouldn't take days, right? Maybe sometimes it shouldn't take hours. Maybe you hear something in the moment, maybe you get upset about it, and you're ready to just punch a wall. Okay, that's not the time to meet with somebody. Wait till you calm down a little bit, cool off, be very level-headed, and then go in there and deal with that, and not in a knee-jerk way where you end up saying something that you shouldn't say or doing something you shouldn't have done. But the main thing is, guys, when you have conflict, deal with it. Conflict delayed, conflict multiplied. That will solve you a lot of problems just by taking care of them on the front end instead of waiting until they get to be this giant problem that doesn't really have a solution or is a much more difficult solution on the back end. Hope that helps.